Thank you for your question, Stefan. I'm a little bit over asked by this. I think because Jurgens is focusing on torrefaction and biochar, that's part of pyrolysis process. And as you have seen, one of the companies is Polyterm is producing this. I think they are one of the ones who producing this volumes, but on EBTC website you can find more differentiation in the different plants producing. But if you look to the commercial plants already on scale, as Petroleum Next mentioned, their plant will start up this month in Boltania, and they will produce torrefied material. And one of our customers started up a plant in Portugal beginning this year, also torrefied material. And if you talk about the plant, at least I can talk about the plant our technology is in, you talk about 120,000 tons black pellets that are being produced. And if you look to the consumption worldwide, just in wood pellets, it's more than 7 million tons that's being used. So this is only a very small amount in the total market of pelleting. And I assume it's similar in the biochar market, that the first startups, it's just a small piece of what is needed in the market. And especially, and that's also what Michael presented in his presentation, you do see this transition coming on, that all the different producers, the steel producers for instance, they want to get rid of their fossil coal. So there an opening is, and if you look to what they are using today, it's huge, of course. So there, the potential is enormous, but the plants that are available is just a small piece of this total amount needed.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Next question, please. No questions. Perhaps then I can tell in the meanwhile, while nobody, if you have a question, please raise your hand and unmute yourself. But in the meanwhile, I will tell a little bit about the torrefaction technology. I think the history is already 10-15 years that torrefaction is on its way, being an educated technology. And as Michael mentioned, you do see now worldwide the technologies are coming. So the time is there, I think. And we do have a new question. Noel, please unmute yourself.
Yes, sorry, Noel Gavigan with the Irish Bioenergy Association. Just in terms of the commercialization of torrefaction, at what stage are we at? I'm still trying to get an understanding of, in terms of, is it a commercial reality for certain uses such as coal replacement as it stands, or does there need to be some substitution, financial subsidization? And what other uses, where do we see is the early adopting areas that can make commercial sense, and that we might start seeing some success in it at these early stages?
Thanks for your question, Noel. I'm using a little bit of the wording that Michael mentioned in the beginning of his presentation to answer a few questions that you mentioned, because there were a lot more questions than there is a subsidy scheme on wood pellets in general, and this subsidy scheme is also being used, at least in Europe, for torrefied material. It can be used. But I think at the moment there is another incentive that is more appropriate or more in place, and getting more in place to get this transition moving, and that's the CO2 credit rating. Because this CO2 credit rating, if you look at the prices of today in Europe, it's around 55 euros per ton of CO2 emission based on fossil fuels. And I think this emission trading and this emission to be paid if someone uses fossil energy from now and towards the future, that really is going to make the change. Because as we as torrefaction technology provider do see now a lot of questions coming from Europe, and that is one of the reasons, but also from Japan, because there also the government is putting in place a scheme that you have to use a part of your energy production being sustainable. So also there is an incentive to change, and it helps the market to for torrefaction to grow. So I think we are in the beginning of getting commercial plants up and running, as there are a few already now. I think this is the starting point, and this is also the game changer that will help. And if you look to the markets where you can look at, it's energy one, mainly in Japan, where there's a big focus on now at the moment. Europe, there's a big discussion of using all kind of woody biomass, of course, for energy, because, and for that reason, we look to agricultural residues, as the webinar is about, and this fuels, or this feedstock has a great opportunity, I think, in combination with sometimes washing, as Jaap Kiel mentioned, as pre-treatment. But and if you do the combination, washing and torrefaction, we do get very good results in making nice torrefied materials that can be used, one, for energy, but of course as intermediate product as well, towards biochar to feed the steel industry. And also the steel industry is really looking to get this industry moving towards green steel, as they call it themselves. So there also is a great opportunity, and there also agricultural residues can play a big role, because you can understand that the price of your raw material is very important in the whole chain of making finally the end product. I hope this gives you a better idea, Noel.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Please, some other questions from someone that I can help with? If, hey, Bart, you were there. Some questions about the technology of perpetual or Jukens, perhaps, that someone wants to raise. You're more than welcome as well. And if there are no other questions, then I think we should call it an evening and end the session. So thank you for your attention and being here in the room. And looking forward to meet you somewhere else or on another place, somewhere, somehow. Thank you.
Thank you, Joris.
Thank you. Thank you.